I am using this switch in my network closet for my home/home office as a core switch. My requirements for a switch included features like Gigabit, PoE, and had to be fully manageable. The other issue I have to deal with is constant blackouts, about 2 to 3 per month. So I was looking for something that wouldn't be as fragile as my previous switch, which cost $5,000. Yes, I do have UPS in line with the switch. I am happy with this switch so far and it is working as intended. Its interface is easy to use and has quite a few capabilities that are clearly laid out. As a fully managed switch, you get to control things at the port level if you desire. It also includes capabilities like VLANs, COs, port mirroring, port rate limiting, and more. I think for its price, having 16 ports, and being rack mountable, it is a decent switch. I have had a few blackouts since setting this up, and it has handled them gracefully, plugged into the UPS. The powered ports seem to have an auto sense feature to determine if it needs power or not. I have not seen anything whereby I can turn off power to those ports like some other switches, but that is not really a concern for my setup since I do not need to use any of the PoE ports for non-PoE endpoints. Does what it says. I was hesitant to try it after all of the bad reviews, but the boss ordered one at work in a time crunch and it'll be if it didn't just work. Running a Cisco AP and a Hikvision PTZ dome camera and a non-PoE uplink to an office. So I bought one at home, just needed it to run a Ubiquiti WAP AC light and a Reolink 5MP IP cam. Seems to work just fine so far. Seems to have a pretty long hardware warranty and it's managed. I bought mine at less than full price, so I'm happy with the value. This switch just works. If you wanted to extend your network BC you ran out of jacks on your router, this does the trick and works unmanaged for the most part. But if you need some specific steering of devices on your network, this switch can do that with VLAN tagging. I was able to put in between my PoE cameras and NVR so I could play with some AI projects. I didn't like having to install third-party software to configure the switch. No issues yet on that front. Simply going to the IP and trying to configure the switch wasn't as good as the third-party app they want you to use. Not to mention, the software product is at end of life. Other than that, the switch is working as intended. I have a home network that includes several PoE IP security cameras. The network is all Cat6 and was originally set up with two Zeiss L8-port PoE switches which worked great. The system has grown larger, so upgraded to two NETGEAR JGS524PE 100 NOS 16-port switches. One switch handles cameras at one end of the network, and a second switch handles all other traffic on the other side. They connect together seamlessly and without hassles of any kind. There has been no degradation of picture quality from the cameras and they have performed consistently. One of them is in an enclosed space directly under the roof which gets quite hot in the summer, but has survived for 2 summers and show no signs of degradation. During subsequent wiring, I have accidentally pulled the switch off a low shelf and it has survived. I have purchased a third of these wonderful switches in case of a failure, but I expect the backup switch to remain in its plastic bag for the foreseeable future. Click link in description for more reviews.